Hello, BookTube. My name's Marilyn, and I am very excited today because a little something came in the mail. A little something I've been really, really excited about. Listen, all right, before anybody gets on to me, I understand not necessary. Totally get that. What you don't understand about me is that I wanted it anyways. I just think it's gonna be great. I got this one. It's the Terra scanner. I got it on Amazon and I got it in green because green is my favorite color. So I've already set it up. I will be using the Libib platform. Basically, on Libib, you essentially can create different collections and scan things in. It does alphabetize it for you, and then you can organize it by whatever you want. See certain analytics. I think you can maybe sync Goodreads to it, but I'm not too positive about that. You can definitely put in your ratings, the ones you've read, the ones you haven't, and it's a good way of just logging things. Now, I don't have nearly as many books as somebody that would probably actually need this has. Like, I feel like, well, I'm gonna find out for sure, but I feel like I have about 100 books in my collection. Let's go ahead and just get into scanning. And while I'm scanning through the books, just so this isn't a boring video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the books that I have on my shelves. This is called The Cat Who Saved Books by Sosuke Natsukawa, and this is a really cute, cozy book. This was originally in Japanese, and it was translated by Louise Hill Kawai. Just looks so cute. Like, just look at that cover. It's adorable. There's something about Japanese fiction that always draws me in with their covers and their aesthetic, because it's always something that just feels cozy. But I just saw this in the store and I couldn't stop looking at it. This is about a teenager inherits the secondhand bookshop from his grandfather, and the bookshop's not doing too well. So this cat appears, and basically they go through different dimensions and they save books that are being abused by bad book owners. How adorable is that? So I'm really excited to read this book. I want to kind of read it in October, I'm thinking. Maybe November, actually. This feels like a November book, but it's so cute. So let's keep going. It works pretty well because I can give you guys a tour of my bookshelf little creatures. So this is Frankie Lilypad, and that is her little home, and she just lives in the middle of my fiction shelf. So this is The White Book, and this is by Han Kang. This was a very interesting book. I do recommend it. This is for everybody, but it's not all for any one person. There's going to be pockets of this that you really identify with and pockets that you don't identify with, and parts that you're like, why am I reading this? And other parts where you're like, this is why I'm reading it. So take that with a grain of salt, but it is very good. It's just a collection of different kind of like anecdotes about the color white and things that are that color, and just kind of this mental process of growing up and dealing with trauma. So very good, very good. Okay, so that was my kind of like fiction, general fiction, literary fiction type of thing. I know that Babel and Catabasis are there, and that's because I feel like, well, they're, I guess, technically fantasy. They're just so academic that I feel like they lean more towards like literary fiction fantasy than fantasy, but maybe eventually I can find a place for them on a fantasy shelf. I just prefer them there, and I don't have to explain myself. So, but we are going to move up. This is my banned books section. I have some pretty good titles here. There are some that I will never read because I just don't want to be depressed, is all really. They're important to have. Tell me I can't have it and now I want to have it, and I'm going to make sure that I have it to be in opposition. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. We're going to go ahead and go through here, and let's get to it. Toot it. Okay. This is the annoying part, is that some of these books are used. So there's this big giant sticker on the back that doesn't scan. So I'm going to try to get this sticker off and see if we can't do something about that. But if not, I can just manually enter it. I do also have another copy of Frankenstein. I just would prefer this version to be on the thing. But anyway, so let's see if we can do that. I hate putting stickers on books. It's literally peeling the cover off, bro. I am aware that I can do the hairdryer trick. I just don't want to do that right now. All right, let's see if that works. It worked. I'm gonna just pause right here again. Sorry about that. But so this is the version of the bell jar that I got, and I kind of really wanted the other one, the one where it's like her face on the cover. But trying to buy exclusively from independent booksellers, and I don't always do it because obviously sometimes there's just a book that I want too bad, and I don't have any indie bookstores by me, so I have to like travel to go to an indie bookstore. But I was at a place that had several indie bookstores, so I decided to go ahead and stock up on some books that I'd been wanting. And for whatever reason, the only version of the bell jar that any of them had was this one. And I don't think it's bad. I think it's very pretty. I just liked the other cover a little bit more. So this has the, what is it, speckled edges or something? It's whatever, which I don't actually mind. I think they're cool. But yeah, I've been really wanting to read this book, and I think I'm going to read it probably sooner rather than later. This is probably going to be an October read because I know that it's going to be a little bit sad. But one of my favorite analogies of all time comes from this book, and it's like one of the whole reasons that I want to read it. Not to mention that this is, while it's fiction, it's in some way autobiographical because this is a very almost true account of like what she actually went through. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've understood from what I've learned about Sylvia Plath. And I do also have the unabridged journals of Sylvia Plath, and I love her poems and her like mentality, and like even though it was very tragic and sad and everything, like her ending at the end of the day, I found that the way that she felt about the world is very similar to the way that I feel about the world sometimes, like especially with the bell jar where she's talking about the plum tree and like how you always want to, this plum is this kind of life, and this plum is finding love and settling down, and that love is traveling across the world, and this plum, I'm sorry. And it's like, what do you do? Like, how do you just pick one? And then by the time that you have spent, just agonizing over a decision, they've all rotted and fallen to the ground. So what are you left with, So, and I just always thought that was such a profound way of putting it, because it's so much how so many of us feel sometimes, especially me, where I'm like, I can see myself having so many different lives, and I cannot come to I can't come to terms with the fact that I only get one. And in that one life, I only get so many years. And in those so many years, there are so many rules and restrictions in place in front of me that I can't actually just do whatever I want. And as time goes on, and as the world becomes a weirder and sometimes more dangerous place, it becomes very debilitating. And anyway, that was just something that I was kind of like having an existential crisis about recently. And then I had a real big existential crisis, and then I decided that I'm just going to move somewhere for a year and just have fun and work and try and figure out my life, but enjoy the life while I still have it. And I don't know, the bell jar is just something that really speaks to me, and I am very excited to read this, as well as like everything else that Sylvia Plath has written. My mom also has a collection of poems by Sylvia Plath, which is an awesome book. And I have obviously the unabridged journals of Sylvia Plath. And this is a very kind of like a little bit of a tragic situation, because she, like me and like so many writers, would keep a journal with her like at all times, and she would write things down that she saw, or things, how she felt after seeing something. And her journals, while she was alive, I think she like lent them to different universities and stuff like that. So there was some account of things that she wrote and all that stuff, but there were a bunch of journals that were lost. Like they were just not or I guess while she was alive they weren't lost, but they were just not public. And when she unfortunately passed away, the rest of her writings were considered lost because her husband did not do anything with them. He didn't want to give them out or something like that. I think he was also problematic in his own ways and was mad at her or something like that. And it was kind of a spiteful thing. And then I think on his deathbed, based on what I read from the foreword on this, on his deathbed, or like right before he died, he decided to publish them and like send them out into the world and just let the world have them, because I think a lot of them had been asking for it. But the problem was that they heavily like edited them. And so there's like these versions out there that are not really true to her word. I think many years later, her kids maybe made it a mission to collect, or maybe it wasn't the kids, maybe it was the university. I'm not too sure. I don't remember now. But they made it a mission to collect all of the journals, all of the writings that they could find of hers, every journal she's ever had. And there were still some that they couldn't find. And they would compile them into this right here, exactly as it was written. So these are the unabridged journals of Sylvia Plath, and that's why it's called that. Some of them have actual copy of the paper that she wrote, and then a lot of times it'll have the way that she punctuated things. That's another thing about writers. Sometimes, like, maybe our grammar is not the best, but which is hilarious, right? But like when we're just writing, like just to write, I'm not worried about my grammar. If I need to put a pause here, like I might do an ellipses or a comma that doesn't necessarily need to go there, and it just doesn't matter, and so that was something that they left in here. It's just all of her unique punctuations, all of her grammar mistakes, all of her spelling mistakes, all of her like crossings out and rewriting and things like that. So this is just a very special book to me, and I find to be very precious, and I'm very happy that I have this. Sorry, not to stop again, but I find it so insane that The Diary of Anne Frank is a banned book. And I was looking up all the reasons that they were banned, and I was trying to make a spreadsheet and all that. And I was just so shocked. And I'm sure there's other reasons. But again, there is no reason, by the way, to ban any of these books. However, this one being banned was insane. And some of the accounts of why this book got banned was because it wasn't true to what happened in the Holocaust. Babe, it was written by a 14-year-old. It was written by a child, sequestered in an attic for several years. Also, she wrote about their experiences in the attic. Like, what on earth? Like, y'all are grasping at straws to try and ban this book. It's so silly. It's so silly. Almost like you've never read it. Almost like you've never watched even the movie. Okay, so everything got scanned appropriately. So now we're going to go ahead and do fantasy. And the fantasy shelf is like... and then I also have a bunch of fantasies over there, but we're going to do that side separately, so it's fine. But just a note quickly. Oh, this one does have one. But I have a couple of arcs. So I have Aftertaste, and I have I Medusa, and apparently Aftertaste actually does have a barcode to scan, but usually arcs don't have a barcode to scan because they're not meant for sale. They are just meant to be for arc readers. But I have these not because I was sent these. I worked at a bookstore, and publishers often send certain arcs and stuff to their, like, the bookstores in which they do business with, and they can't be sold, but the employees can take them if they like. So that is what these two are. I guess this one I can scan, but this one I'll just have to manually input, and I'll probably just do that like later or something. Okay, well, let's get back into it. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick fun little thing just to see if anyone is actually watching this. This little dragon's name is Iriam. Okay? Iriam. Iriam. If anybody can guess what that name is, why I named it that, I will send you a little Bookish prize. I don't know what it'll be yet. I have a lot of like Bookish things. So if anybody can guess why this dragon is named Iriam, explain it, you will win that. Okay, so, have fun. You will get one clue in this video. It's, one of the books that I scanned is going to be the clue. And I'm not going to tell you which one it is either. So, good luck. All right, let's keep going with the fantasy shelf. Okay, so I have the special edition of Lightlark and it doesn't have a barcode, so I can't scan it. So I'm gonna have to put that manually. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that out and put it on the manual edition stack. So this is my Poppy. She's so cute and she sits in the middle of the fantasy shelf. She's got her little acorn. So yeah, cute. Go ahead and move you over to this side so you can see we've got Bare Bones and the Beast of the Briar. Which actually, I'm not going to scan that one. I'm just going to scan the ones because I have the original set. That's just a special edition. So I'm going to scan not this one, but over there. Okay. Okay. So the fantasy on this side is done. So I'm going to check and make sure that everything is good on the computer. And then we'll move on. I just realized this also does not have a barcode, so I will manually enter that as well. That's Cursed Legacies. Okay. I actually forgot my TBR shelf is right here, and I have some fantasies in there as well. Also, I have my entire Book of the Month shelf, which also has fantasies. Okay, well, we're going to work our way down this now. What? What do you mean? Okay, for some reason, the Teller of Small Fortunes is also not showing up, so I will do that separately. Let's go ahead and do the romance shelf. And this is Poppy. We love her. Yes. 4. Oh, hi. Hey, what you doing? How's it going? Welcome back. That's everything except for my Book of the Month shelf. So let's get into that. And I really hope that they all scan and I don't have to manually input them. Because that would suck. And I won't do that. Okay. Okay, baby. Let's get into it then. Moment of truth. Ding. And we are good. We are good to go, everybody. We did it, Joe. We did it. Also, this is a criminally underrated book. Okay, you want a YA folkloric fantasy? This is for you. It's so good. It's so good. Yes, there's like a trials, but like it's not like Hunger Games. It's just this kind of like fun competition between fae and like humans and different things. But if you just so happen to win, you get any wish you want from the Fae King. And it's like this whole whatever. It's written like an adult fairy tale, like a dark gothic fairy tale. And you follow, it's kind of like split into like 3 different books because you follow like the story of each of our 3 main characters and just kind of like their whole arcs. Very amazing. Very well done. Really good book. This is so underrated. Criminally so. Actually, let's get comfortable really fast because I have some tabs in here and this is from before I even liked to tab books. So you know, they spoke to my vibes. Let's go through them. The first one says, when asked why he stopped his brother from killing a fox on a hunt, he said, "The fox was sentenced to death for the crime of being defenseless. I thought it rather unfair." Okay, snaps for that. Snaps for you, buddy boy, old pal. This is one of our main characters describing one of our other main characters, okay? Her hair was so pale it was nearly white. Her eye was icy. Yes, eye. Had a gaze that pierced sharper than any arrow. She was no beauty of the court. She wore no elegant gown nor jewelry, and her lips were unpainted. But she had a feral, visceral quality about her. He found himself glancing at her again and again, merely for the pleasure of seeing her. Like, babes, for the pleasure of seeing her? Shut up. Oh, this was a sweet one. I will not let the evils of the world frighten me out of kindness. Period. Love that. Very good. 10 stars. Do it again. Here you go. You've spent so long trying to make yourself powerful that you've armored yourself against what makes you human. Shut up a little bit, though. Broken things could not always be mended, but sometimes they could be forged into something new. Okay. Go read the book. Go read the book and don't piss me off. Please God, let us not be. Oh my god, what is going on? Why? This is also a very good rom-com, by the way. I recommend it to everybody. It's really good. Oh my god. You're joking. Yeah, fuck. Dang it, Aluriel. Use some ISBNs that matter. That work. Alright then. Well, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to input all of the books that did not show up on the barcode scanner, and then once I have all of those done, then I will move on to the other bookshelf, and then we'll get back to business. Okay, see you soon. All right, so this is the next area that we're going to tackle, and you can't really see all of the books, but they're there. So let's go ahead and just work our way through these. I'm not looking forward to taking those down, but that's okay. It's not too terrible. Also, this corner was my first book nook thing that I ever did in my room, and these crates are where I got my start. So now the things that I put over here are the things that I've read, and I've read a lot of what's over there, but like fiction, I don't have a crate for fiction, so the fiction books that I read just stay over there. A lot of the fantasy books I read stay over there because they might be part of a series or something along those lines, and I just want to display them over there. But for the most part, whenever I read something from over there, if there's space over here or I have a crate for it, then I will try and move it to here to free up space over there. And yeah, okay, so let's get back to scanning. I'll just tell you the way that I kind of organize this. So down here are from right here, from this book, that way are books I've DNF'd that I'm going to give one more chance, and then I'm just going to not have them anymore. In the center is a book that I have not read, but I don't know if I will read it because it just doesn't sound like something I would like. Regardless, it's just over here for now because I don't realistically think I'll get to this. And from this point over are books that I have read and I've enjoyed, but they've been underwhelming in some way. I don't really ever think about them. I don't really care about them, or they're just like, they were good, but like, I just don't, whatever. Like, I need space. Those are the ones I'm moving, To be fair, Malibu Rising was a very good book, but I read it a very long time ago, and I just remember being very underwhelmed by the story. Not because the plot was bad, but because I felt that it wasn't very well executed in a way. I just wanted a little bit more, I don't know, because the story when I told it afterwards was very good. So the plot wasn't the issue. I think it was just the execution. Didn't really like that. Did not like Funny Story by Emily Henry. Characters were just flat to me. And then the Lori Gilmore series is really cute. Pumpkin Spice Cafe is not my favorite. I think Cinnamon Bun Bookstore was much better. And I do think the books are really cute, but again, like, I'm just like, I don't really have anywhere to display them that I'd want to. And Binding and Keeping 13, both were good. Both were very sad and dark and dreary, and I don't really think I want to keep reading the series, even though I do think about them a lot. I have Mary Oliver's Upstream. It's a collection of essays. There's no real reason why that's over here except for like I read it from time to time, but it doesn't qualify as anything else, so I'm just leaving it over here. And then I have romance, and then fantasy obviously, and then we'll do the top one. So let's go ahead and start scanning from down here, and then we'll move our way up. Yes, I am scanning the books I DNF'd because I own them, so. Also, the reason I DNF'd this book was because I found him to be really annoying, and I just didn't like that. I just didn't like it. I thought he was so annoying, and I was over it, and I thought he had a stupid opinion about Christmas, and it just made me mad. So I DNF'd it, but I will give it one final chance in October. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to give it another chance in October. Then I'm going to give it a last chance in December. And if not, it's gone. Okay, and then moving on up here, this is my romance shelf. But these are some of my favorite romances. These are my why choose rom-coms. I love them. I love them a lot. So, starting with obviously Beautiful Things, which is the special edition right here. First of all, really pretty edges. Like, are you joking me? Oh, shut up. They're so cute. It's a Regency era Why Choose, and it's really cute. It's very hot tea. I love it. And then it has an interconnected standalone spin-off kind of thing of a different character. And it's also Why Choose. So, oh, and then the others are the Lily Gold series, all four. Love them. Can't wait for the next one, Lily Gold. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready to buy it. Out of all the Lily Gold books, Faking with Benefits is definitely my favorite because I can relate to the main character the most out of all of the main characters in that series, and I just love her dearly. Then my second favorite is Triple Duty Bodyguards. I just thought that one was so good. It was like a little bit darker, but I felt that all the characters were very real and very fleshed out, and I thought the arc was actually really, really good. Quick fun fact about me, Icebreaker was the first like rom-com that I ever read, I think. At least it was the first like spicy rom-com that I ever read. And I unironically like it. So I don't know why people hate on it. It was very popular. And like I read it years ago, so like I don't remember necessarily everything that happened in it, but like I remember thinking it was cute and there was like nice, cute friends and stuff. So I don't really know why it's like such a thing to hate it now. I don't think it's a bad book at all. Then this is one of my all-time favorite books, and it's also one of the only biographies I've ever read. I think it might be the only autobiography for sure. And this is the story of an Auschwitz survivor. So it is called The Happiest Man on Earth. It's the story of Eddie Jaku. And basically, this is like I said, it's autobiographical where he details what his experience was like in the Holocaust, but also being a young man, the Holocaust, and how his father could see the way that things were going. He prepared his son to be, prepared and invaluable so that he would have some way of saving himself. You know what I mean? Very sad. He talks about how he had to completely shred his identity to just be able to go to school. He had to lie to his friends and come to terms with the fact that some of his best friends, when everything started happening, were very, might have been the very ones to turn him in if they found out that he was Jewish. And he even said, he was like, I was never even that religious. Like, I was a German first, because he lived in Germany. He was like, I was a German first. I was and it never made sense to him how things could turn so cruel. And it goes through him coming back home on the night of Kristallnacht and finding his childhood home completely in ruins and his family gone, and how he was then taken to different concentration camps, but how the very lessons that his father taught him helped to save his life time and time and again. And the inevitable reunion and the inevitable situations that do end up happening to so many of these, or that did end up happening to so many of these people. And I think that if you are at all very interested in history, or if you're just very like worried about life today, I think this is a good book. It's short, it's easy to read, makes you cry a little bit, but I mean, as you should. And in my opinion, reading his story and how he considers himself to still, and he did pass away now, but how he considered himself to be the happiest man on earth despite everything that he went through, I think is a very beautiful thing. And he goes through the thought process of how he chose to remain hopeful and kind and maintain his faith in humanity despite the horrors that he was seeing. And I think honestly right now we could all use a little bit of Eddie Jaku. So I do recommend this book. It is one of my all-time favorites, and that's why it's not on any shelf, because I was trying to fit it on my best of the best shelf, but I honestly think that this is something that I want to display. So Eddie Jaku. Okay, so moving on up here, this is my Bonds That Tie series. Now, as a Why Choose reader, and I am, like, I've read anything that you can think of, I've probably read it. There's a lot of hype for these books. Like, if they are even, well, they got, like, trad published, but, like, even to the point where there's merch and stuff in bookstores for them. And look, they're not bad. And like the reason I got the entire set, even though I read them on Kindle, was because I do think the covers are absolutely stunning. I think they're beautiful. And this was like a big factor into why I wanted these. Just don't think they're that good, in my opinion. Like, I just feel like there was a lot lacking. I feel like a lot was excused from some of the MMCs, primarily the Draven brothers, primarily Nox. And it was like, oh, here's this awful, terrible character. He's very cruel and evil towards this girl. And he does things that are otherwise and still inexcusable. But boom, here's a tragic backstory. So it's all okay. It didn't sit right with me. I also thought there was no plot. Every book felt like the same over and over and over again. And then book 6 was like, here's everything. Here's all of the story that should have been fleshed out for 6 books. Here's all of it right now. I actually thought the plot was great. I thought the revelation of what was actually going on with them was fantastic. That was great. It could have been a really good series, but I thought it just underdelivered, and I was made to, like, I don't know, excuse some of these actions that I wasn't comfortable doing. And I don't know, I just feel like it's kind of weird that, although I will say, like, the pages are very pretty, I think it's kind of weird that all of the merch as well is for, like, Nox Draven, like Nox and North Draven, and it's like, no, they don't need to be praised, in my opinion. I don't think they had a good enough redemption. So this is not my favorite RH series by far, but you know, it is good. If you're getting into Why Choose, it's a good place to start, and I think you can work your way up. Moving on up, we have this whole situation right here. And now let me introduce you. Hi, low angle. My tripod is low. Sorry, I cannot raise it higher than what it already is, but I hope this is good enough for you. And actually, my tripod's dying. How does that work? Okay. I don't know what's dying. What's dying? My phone? What's dying? Hold on. That's my phone. It'll be fine. So this right here is the Beasts of the Briar series. This is the Beasts of the Briar series. It's fantastic. Look, it's my baby. So it starts with this novella, and this is Prince of the Arena. We have Bonded by Thorns, which is the first one, and this follows our main character, Rosalina. And this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but why choose and make it like Fae? And so this is like how she gets started, how she gets into the world. And then each subsequent book follows one of the many princes in their many realms, because they are like seasonal princes, like the spring and summer and fall and winter. And then one more. But anyway, yeah, it's very good. I highly recommend. Let's get them in. Okay, now here's the kicker. I don't want to move all that stuff, so I think I'm going to add the Harry Potter books in manually. Also, fuck J.K. Rowling. You suck. You're a disgusting disgrace of a person. I hate you. I can't believe you wrote something so cool and turned into the literal villain. You are a disappointment and a disgrace, and I'm so unbelievably unhappy that something I love so much and is so dear to my heart has to be tainted by you being a part of it. But in my head, you did not write these books. They are tomes of a history long forgotten, and they were written by no one in particular. And that's how I'm going to choose to live my life. And you can screw yourself. Trans rights are human rights, you stupid bitch. Oh no. I'm super duper happy that I was actually able to find the hardcovers of those books, because they're so beautiful and the new covers are not good in my opinion. Sorry. Thank you. Oh my god, no, everything's dying. Okay, so I guess I just won't show this part, but I'm gonna scan all of those up there, and then we'll be done scanning my books. Oh, I do have some more over there. Okay, I'm just gonna finish scanning and I will be back. Okay, so the quality is like a little bit worse just because I'm using my actual just phone camera and not the program or whatever for my tripod. Anyway, so officially I have 166 books in my collection, and that's me hoping that they all got scanned and that I didn't miss any. That's good. I definitely didn't think I had that many books. I was thinking I had around like 100-ish, but I'm close to 200 books, so that's pretty exciting. And the only thing that I'm really upset about is that so many of these don't have a book cover, and I don't really know why. Also, some of them have like weird book covers, like not the cover that I have, which is, I thought, the whole point of the ISBN, but I digress. It's fine because I'm just gonna like figure it out. Like, it doesn't really matter. I more so care about like the names and like having a number. I'm definitely gonna play around with this program. I'm using Libib, and oh, I also don't have my mic. Oh well, that's fine. I wish this would like just auto organize it by genre. I'm kind of bummed that that's not a thing. Okay, that was me scanning all of my books. I'm sorry that the end of this video isn't great. It's just my tripod died, my phone's about to die, and I have like a bunch of things that I need to do right now, so I have to just go ahead and sign off for the night. This was so much fun, and listen, I understand this is not a necessity, but it made me feel so good. Like, I am just a proponent of, if it's gonna make you happy, just do it. I'm definitely gonna be reusing this. Every time that I get a book, I'm gonna go ahead and scan it into my library. I'm so excited about that. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed, and I will be hopefully back with some more book videos soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.